What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Hey! So, I thought I would just make a little quick video just to break down basically what my first impressions and my first thoughts about the country are. I'm just gonna freestyle them and just tell y'all of the cuff what I feel as I just arrived. I've been here for almost a week now already. About a week ago. Especially about Medellin, Colombia, which is where I'm staying right now. So that's just my thoughts, what I experienced so far, what my feelings are basically. I wanted to start off by saying how I found that this place has a lot of similarities to North America, actually. I don't feel that out of my element. I remember, for example, the first time I went to Los Angeles, I don't know, because I had never been to somewhere a little bit more tropical. When I arrived over there, it was a little bit of a shocker. I had never seen even a real actual beach at the time. It was a little bit of a shocker when I arrived. I felt a little bit out of my element, but I felt good. It was a good out of my element. So when I arrived here, to me, honestly, it was similar to how I felt when I was arriving in LA. I said it before, I find that here in Medellin, Colombia, there's a lot of similarities to a place like Los Angeles, in my opinion. Of course, a lot of people speak Spanish in Los Angeles. Here, everyone speaks Spanish. That's another point I'm going to bring later on. When I was in Los Angeles, depending where you're going, a lot of people, their first language is Spanish. So I was kind of used to that. But even more than that, the cars, the traffic, the temperature, the way the buildings are, the way the streets are, it's a lot similar to what I experienced in Los Angeles. And it's not that out of the ordinary as I walk through the streets, you know. But there are some things that had me a little shook, right? There's not a lot of street lights here. I was a little bit like, wow, like a street where there's crazy traffic, a lot of cars walk, a lot of cars passing by, whizzing by, not a lot of street light. Like I look down the street to my left, I look down the street to my right, and no street lights. So you basically have to venture. A trick that I have, and I recommend you do the same thing if you're in a country like this that has a lot of traffic and not a lot of street light, is I just go behind a local that seemed to have his head straight. I go and I stand behind him and I wait for that person to cross, and I cross behind him. I let them teach me how to do it there and then. The more you do it, the more it's almost like you're crossing the street and your mom is holding your hand almost. Because it's a new way to cross the street. It's a new experience for sure. So it's helpful to do that. I would recommend you guys to try to do that too. Also, talking about the roads and everything, I have to say there's a lot of bikes. You probably heard one that passed right by. Motorcycles, scooters, sports bike, every bike you can imagine, there's a lot of them. Right now, another one. There's a whole lot. I know that places like Thailand has a lot of bikes, and places like Vietnam, Bali. I heard that these places have a lot of bikes, but I didn't expect that it was going to be that many bikes in Colombia. So that was a little bit of a shocker, but it's not that crazy. But one thing that's crazy is that these bikes, they roll, man. They go. What they do is America and Canada, like the bikes, they stay behind the cars. Most of them. Of course, there are some crazy loonies that just whiz and just slalom in between the cars like that. But here, it's almost everybody, bro. If there's a blockage in the traffic and the cars are not moving, every single bike will on either side of the traffic, bro. And I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if that's a problem or if they could get a ticket yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out and I'll tell you later on. But they whiz by the traffic. When I cross the street, I make sure that I look for bikes coming in from a distance. Maybe from a bike that's behind a car that's about to whiz and just go in between. So I make sure I look out for that. But there are stoplights. I'm not saying there's none, but I'm just saying where I've walked in my neighborhood so far, there are streetlights, but not as much. If you've been to Colombia in other cities or even in Medellin and you've seen and experienced different than I have, let me know, because this is just first impression. I might be totally wrong. Maybe it's just where I live and where I've been to that's like that. So let me know in the comments if you have a different experience, but that's just my first impression. Also, right now we are in April. This is the raining season, but so far it hasn't been raining that much, really. It hasn't been that crazy. Yes, there is rain. It rains maybe every day for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30. That's it. Other than that, the weather is pretty nice. It's really sunny. Sometimes we get a little break, a little shade, but it's not hot as you're burning and it's not like that. But so far, it's been good temperature. It's warm, but it's not hot, burning hot. I don't like hot, burning hot. So I'm happy that, to me, this is the perfect temperature. You know, even if there's a little rain sprinkled here and there, that doesn't bother me that much. So that's for the temperature. For the people, I'm really happy so far with the people. Like, they're really nice. What I've experienced so far is everyone is very friendly. My Spanish is very limited, like so limited. I can barely like order something at the restaurant, you know. It's tough. So people are very patient with me and my bad Spanish. They try to help, they try to understand. There's not a lot of people that speak English, by the way. Let me just tell you that. Don't expect to come here and that you're gonna get all these people speaking English. No. It's good to learn a little Spanish before you get here. At least you can try to maneuver around and use Google Translate. That's what I use a lot. So people are very nice. People are very friendly. Everyone is very welcoming. But Spanish is really dominant over everything else. So do learn a little Spanish before you come here. How expensive is the place? Honestly, I don't find that this place is really expensive at all. Like, I found it really affordable, extremely affordable. The most affordable place I've ever been by far. You can get a very nice apartment. You can find it here for like 700. You know, there's different levels of neighborhood over here. A lot of people usually tend to come to L'Oreales, Poblado, Envigado. That's what a lot of people actually go to. It's very touristy, but the way I say touristy is kind of different than I would say other places, right? When I go to a hostel in New York or in LA or whatever, and I call it touristy, I mean really touristy. Like, everyone you meet is a tourist. But here, I'm telling you, in a week of being here, I think I've met 3 tourists. But at the same time, of course, this is a different time, right? We don't have all these people traveling and these families doing these trips. We don't have that right now. So take it as it may. 21 April, there's not a lot of tourists anywhere. So maybe it would be different if we were in a different time. I'm one of the crazy ones that actually go around, you know? So, but from what I hear, that's the way it is. Normally, more or less. Of course, there's more tourists normally, but you don't like walk in the street and meet, oh, a tourist here, a tourist there. It's different. I'm sure there's a lot of expats here. If I actually go out and search for them, I'm sure I'm going to find them. But let's say I'm in LA. Normally, I don't have to go out and try to find tourists. They're just there. Food is very inexpensive as well. Like, you can get a good meal for like $5, $6, $4. Like, I'm talking about a meal maybe in a mall or something. But if you don't even go to a mall, if you're just going to a normal, I don't know, a corner restaurant or something, you can find a meal for $2 or $3. Talking about converted money to USD, you know? That's one thing to consider. It's a very affordable place to travel to. So far, one thing I've noticed as a black dude traveling here, I haven't experienced a lot of, I don't have any recollection of having any type of people looking at me weird, people looking at me funny because I'm a black dude, right? So so far, I haven't encountered that, so knock on wood. That actually hurts. That wasn't wood either, so. One thing that I found that I like was that I find that there's a lot of mix. I've seen people from all sorts of walks of life that are Colombian, right? I've seen people that have this Asian, Native American type of look. Maybe you could compare it to someone from Vietnam or Cambodia, that type of look. I've seen a lot of people with darker complexion, like black, that you could call black, that type of dude, Afro-Colombians, I guess we should say. I've seen a lot of people with whiter complexion, like I could look at them, and if they weren't speaking only Spanish, I would be like, oh, maybe that's a dude from New York or Los Angeles. Because it's not like in the States that like if you look maybe Asian, it's because maybe your parents immigrated from Asia. Now the danger level. A lot of people are saying like, Colombia is very dangerous. Colombia is very unsafe. There's this bad like preconception about when you go to Colombia. A lot of people are like, oh, you're going to Colombia, you have to be careful and all that stuff, right? I would say yes, it's true. From my research and from what I've read, as I'm talking for a guy that I've walked outside every day, maybe for 2-3 hours every day, more or less. I've walked a bit later at night. I haven't walked at 2 in the morning. I haven't done that yet. I have to say that so far, I have not seen or felt genuine danger here. I say that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that it's not dangerous. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that you can come here and expect that you're perfectly safe, that nothing's gonna happen to you, that you can just walk around with expensive cameras and expensive watches and jewelry and all that. I'm not saying that at all. That's not what I'm saying. But before I came here, I researched a lot on things, what to do, what not to do. And let me know if you want me to make a video about what to do, what not to do when you're here. I have not felt like I was unsafe because I've taken precautions. I walk around flashy. This is first impression. I gotta tell you that upon my first impression, I've been to places in New York. I've been in places in LA. I've been in places in Montreal that I felt more in danger than I feel here generally in the neighborhood that I'm at, which is more touristy, residential, but still downtown. I felt less safe in places in downtown Los Angeles or downtown in Times Square in New York. I'm sure if I go to certain places in Colombia and I start looking for it, I'm sure I'll find places that are more dangerous than these other places. But I gotta tell y'all that I don't feel, I don't want to say that and then something happens and then I jinx myself out of, oh man. Please don't let me jinx myself. I'm just giving a first impression to the people. That's what I'm gonna say so far, and I'll update you later on. But that's what I gotta say about the danger level. I've been doing a lot of videos that were vlog outside, walking and all that stuff. I wanted to do a video that was inside, that I was gonna just talk to y'all. So if you have questions about Colombia, if you have questions about Medellin, about my first impression, about any of the points that I brought up that you want me to go in depth more, let me know in the comments. If you have things that you want me to experience, if you have places that you want me to go and film, if you have topics you want me to tackle, hit up the comments, let me know. I'll be dropping videos almost every day, if not every day, on the channel about my travel, about Colombia. We'll go to other cities in Colombia, we'll do all this stuff, but we're staying a long time in Medellin. We're gonna unpack Medellin one neighborhood at a time. We're gonna really understand it and really break it down. So if you wanna travel to Medellin, this is the right channel for you because you're gonna basically go through it as I'm going through it because it's my first experience. You're gonna get to see if I make mistakes, when I do mistakes, learn from my mistakes and not reproduce these mistakes when you come to Colombia, to Medellin, and so on in every city that we're gonna go. That's what you're going to get on the channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate it and you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like. So my camera is in a very precarious position right now. It's going to fall any second. So I'm going to wrap up the video now and I'm going to let y'all go. And on that note, I'm out. Eddie Goes Hollywood, signing off.